let's go to some other news that happened. We'll get into this fight. Let's go to some other news that happened because some fights were announced. Had been talking about this for a while now. You see it there. 5 versus 5 tournament. Hey man, shout out to Turkey, Chris. Shout out to Turkey. Al Sheikh making a lot of good fights happen, and this right here will be the headliner: Zhang, Deontay Wilder. Both men coming off of losses. We'll see how they bounce back, Chris.
Yeah, no, like you said, Gio, like it is because of Turkey, it is because of that, you know, Saudi Arabia money that these two, promotion companies are working together. Let's not kid ourselves, Gio. If it wasn't for that money, these guys would be over there playing politics and keeping their fighters in house and only fighting each other. Again, money talks, and again, the best thing that's happened to boxing in the last 2 years has been Turkey.
Yeah, and you see here, the beginning sentence says it took years for rival promoters Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn to even speak to each other. On that interview, one of the Eddie Hearn interviews, he mentioned he had never even spoken to Frank Warren, in his whole time in boxing. So for them to now get together, they had that rivalry over there in the UK. For them to get together now and put on this 5 versus 5 tournament, I mean, it's exciting because it's 5 versus 5. All right, I'm sure both of these men are going to want to win this tournament, bragging rights. And here are the fights that we're going to get: Zhang with representing Queensberry, Deontay Wilder representing Matchroom, uh, Philip Hrgovic representing Matchroom versus Daniel Dubois representing Queensberry. That's a good matchup right there. Hrgovic, 17-0, 14 KOs, as you see it there. Here, let me actually pull up the screen for you guys. There you go. Hrgovic, 17-0, 14 KOs against Dubois. Dubois, let me see, where does it say? 20-2, 19 KOs for Daniel Dubois. So this is a good fight. Hrgovic actually defeated Zile in a controversial decision, but he's still undefeated, representing Croatia there. What else we got here? Hamza Giras representing Queensberry versus Austin. Amo Williams representing Matchroom. Look, Shiraz, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. 19-0, 15 KOs against Amo, who is 16-0, 11 KOs. That's going to be a good fight. We've been keeping track of Amo's career. He's a good up-and-coming fighter, but ooh, that one's looking tough. 19-0, 15 KOs. His opponent. And Raymond Ford representing Matchroom against Nick Ball representing Queensberry. Craig Richards also Matchroom versus Willie Hutchinson representing Queensberry. So we got some good matchups, man. Saudi Arabia, I'm assuming DAZN, will it be pay-per-view? We'll see. But some good action there. Good fight announcements.
Yeah, like you said, Gio, some of these fights, I mean, they're obviously very good. Usually, you don't get undefeated fighters, young guys fighting each other. But I mean, if the money makes sense, these promoters are going to capitalize on that. And again, 5-on-5, bragging rights. Like you said, you got two guys well known in Zhang and Wilder, both on losing ends. Both, I would say Wilder more needing this win more than Zhang. But hey, again, it's the money's right, Gio.
Yeah, we're getting some comments here saying, why is Wilder being gifted a spot on a major card, says El Pachuco. Big Bro says Dubois, Hrgovic, and Ford Var, very 50-50 type of fights. Zhang versus Wilder is KO waiting to happen for sure. So, yeah, as I said, both men coming off a loss. Zile took a loss recently to Joseph Parker, surprisingly. To a lot of us, he was able to hurt Parker in that fight. Couldn't finish him off. Parker proceeded to box him out, Chris, for the remainder of the fight, essentially. And you would think that this is probably both men's last chance at a big purse, at a big fight. We'll take a look at their ages right now. But Zile, well, I think he's 40 now. Deontay Wilder, younger, but He's taking some beatings, Chris. He's taking some beatings, uh, specifically by Tyson Fury. So I think this is the last. This might be the last big fight for the loser.
Yeah, like you mentioned, or like the like it was mentioned in the post. Why is Wilder getting a shot again? Wilder was once upon a time, a top three name in that heavyweight division. Since his losses to Tyson Fury and then losses here back to back, it's almost like, man, he's flirting with that journeyman role. And again, it's just he's just not looking he's not looking like his destructive old self. Again, we're used to seeing Wilder lose many early rounds, but then he somehow finds a way to win, and that hasn't been the case. So, I think he mentioned something about the fire, not being all there. He says it's coming back, but I don't know, Gio. I think he's just trying to sell the fight, and of course, he has to try to capitalize, with so much money on the table, at the tail end of his career. But yeah, again, it's the loser, and more so Wilder. If he loses one more time, I do not see him being marketable. Just damaged goods, pretty much. Just a guy that you use to move fighters up.
Yeah, man, this is a good card. I'm sure we'll be speaking about this in months to come. Let me see. Does it have a date here? Hmm. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, this just got announced, so we'll be, as I said, talking about it. And of course, the other fight that was announced as well, Arthur Beterbiev, 39 years old, Chris. I think a lot of people will be paying attention to that number right there. But he is 20-0, and he does have 20 knockouts. And you see it there, Dimitri Bivol, 22-0. Half of his fights have ended in a KO. The complete contrast, you can say, from Arthur, the power puncher. Bivol, more of a pure boxer, you can say. Whoa, I don't know what happened there, but let me take that screen off. But Chris, it's official. We haven't talked about it much. We wanted to wait until it was official, but Turkey does it again.
Yeah, no, again, the best thing that's happened to boxing again the last year and a half has been this guy Turkey, because he's making, guys that, like you said, have never talked to each other, never entertained a fight. Again, when the money is there, guys like Bivol, Better, we're like, hey, we're prize fighters. This is why we take a chance. At the end of the day, if one of us loses, at least we're getting the best payday of our careers. And yes, this is the fight that everybody wants to see. Gio, you, me, everybody in that comment section. It's one of those dream fights where you get the two best guys, of course, because Bivol did beat Canelo. It gives it a little bit more incentive. Again, these are the two best fighters at 175, differing styles, both undefeated. One guy who's a little bit older, but he's just such a destructive force, and a guy that can, box the hat off of anybody. So, yeah, man, this one might be the fight of the year, and it might challenge Usyk and Tyson Fury for, pound for pound status.
Yeah, we'll get into that because look, Tyson Fury, obviously Alexander Usyk's coming up soon, May 18th. We're about a month away. These are two high profile fights, and I'm still debating. I can't decide which one is the higher profile one. Obviously, the heavyweights, usually the sexier division. That's the one that people are looking at. That's the one that people say, the current state of the heavyweight division usually kind of determines the current state of boxing, so all eyes on the heavyweights. But this fight right here, man, we got two Russians, two probably top 5, top 6, top 7, whatever you want to call it, pound for pound fighters. The two best at 175 pounds. And look, Arthur Beterbiev is 39, as I said. Dimitri Bivol, 33. Both men have a total of 42 fights combined, Chris. So, these guys, obviously good amateur experience, don't have too many miles on their bodies in the pro ranks. So I think they're both in their primes, and that's rare to see in today's game, man. Two top guys in their primes, number 1 versus number 2 in the division. We don't get to see that very often. We obviously saw another undisputed bout recently. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. Probably, not probably, for sure it was past due. It was past the time that we wanted to see it. Obviously, Mayweather Pacquiao, the biggest example of that. But look, this fight, Beterbiev, Bivol, both men in their prime. Same with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So it's exciting news. And as I said, Turkey does it again, man. I'm sure we're going to be discussing this fight in weeks to come. June 1st is the official day, Saudi Arabia.
Let me ask you, Gio, what was your initial reaction when you saw that it was official? Like when you saw these two guys facing off, what came to mind?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Chris?
What came to mind when you, as a fight fan, when you finally saw that it was official and that these guys were doing a face-off? Like, what was your initial reaction to that?
It's happening. It's happening. We always hear a ton of rumors, but it's always a relief once it's official. And hopefully, knock on wood, everything goes well. That Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk got pushed back a little bit, but it's happening after all. Things happen. We just want to see the best get it on, and these two are the best at 175 pounds. So I was relieved, but hey, I didn't doubt my boy Turkey, man. I knew he was gonna make it happen.
The interesting about this fight is, of course, when you think of heavyweights, like you said, Gio, that's what determines the state of boxing. But coincidentally, the heavyweights they're going through are the two best ones right now. They're employing more of a boxing style. Less, these are probably two of the most talented heavyweights since Muhammad Ali. So the fact that this light heavyweight match is more, fan friendly for the casual, I think that's what is gonna, have honors for fight of the year, in my opinion. But again, it's because of Beterbiev style, like you said, Gio. He may be 39, but he's still very fresh. He, has broken down every single one of his opponents, so he hasn't had to go, the distance. He, his best defense is his offense, so he hasn't, taken a lot of damage. Bivol, for his part, just outboxes, even the likes of Canelo, so he hasn't taken too much damage either. So again, I feel that fight's gonna be very tense. Obviously you're gonna see people employ his boxing style, and we've seen what Beterbiev has done to boxing style fighters. In Bozdik, Bivol's a different animal, but again, it's so enticing, it's so intriguing. It's almost a 50-50 fight. I'm sure some people have it 55-45, but again, it's so intriguing. And again, it pins two Russians, two stablemates, two countrymates. And again, I just can't wait to see that fight.
Yeah, and Big Bro's right. Actually, that 5-on-5 tournament is on the undercard of this fight, June 1st. And he says, I heard the 5 versus 5 is going to be on pay-per-view on the Zone, and Beterbiev Bivol is going to be free on ESPN Plus. Yeah, I had read that as well. So,
wow.
Yeah, I think the quote-unquote undercard is pay-per-view, and then the main event is going to be quote-unquote free. You got to subscribe to ESPN Plus, but that's a good investment, Chris. I've said it. I have ESPN Plus. I don't know how much I pay, like $8, I think, a month. I get to watch my European football. I get to watch my boxing. I think it's a good deal, but hey, they're not paying us, so this is not an ad. El Pachuco says, I got Beterbiev late KO. Man, I saw the face-to-face. There you have it. Beterbiev, man, he's a scary dude, man. Let me tell you this. I don't know if you guys got the same sentiment out of this. I just read what they said during this press conference. I didn't watch the video, but it's to me it seems a little bit like maybe Bivol is happy to be there. He's been waiting for this chance, but Beterbiev just said, "Hey, I wanted the belts. He has a belt. This is just another fight." And I believe him, man. This guy's scary. 20 wins, 20 KOs. I don't know if there's anybody out there who can survive against this guy 12 rounds.